Welcome to Slovenia. I'm not going to do a full day here. It is a interesting country, but I'm going to be passing through here. Just entered the border at the south end. I'll be going up to the capital city, then up to a lake, and then into some caves. And by sunset, I will be in Italy.
If you're used to hearing the words faith, trust, and belief used interchangeably, here's something that I've been working on for a while. Let's start with trust. Trust starts with something that we want to be true and hopes that it is true and then acts accordingly. So it starts from where we're at, hoping that something or someone will deliver and that our trust will have been used for a good cause. Faith is not like that. Faith actually works backward. Faith starts with perceiving what is and then deciding that you're going to move toward that thing because you've had an experience that tells you it's true or it's real. So trust would be to attack a dragon hoping that he's hoarding a pile of gold. Now, you've never seen that gold, but you're trusting it's there, so you're moving forward into something that requires courage with the hope that there's going to be a payoff and that your trust will have been used for a good cause. But like I said, faith starts at the end and it works backward. So in this scenario, faith would be as if there was a mirror behind the dragon, and that mirror was faced at an angle where you could see a pile of gold behind the dragon. Now that gold isn't your current reality. It's not something actually tangible to you in the moment. But with one of your senses, or more than one of your senses, you are having an experience of something being real, and you know that the courage you're going to use in order to move forward toward it will be worth it if you can defeat that dragon. With faith, you don't have to conjure up a belief. You don't have to psych yourself up to thinking something is true that may or may not be true, because you've had an experience, and that's the difference between trust and faith. Faith is operating on an experience that we've had and moving toward what we want, knowing that there's something there on the other side. Trust is much more based in hope, or it's taking somebody's word for something. One of the reasons that I think that these differences in definition, and I know we haven't talked about belief yet, but we'll get to that. One of the reasons I think that these definitions are so important is because people outside of what we would call a faith or a religion have a tendency to dump on people inside of a religion because they confuse the words faith and trust just like the people inside the religion do. So they say faith is stupid. You'd have to be a fool to, have a faith. Well, they may have a point when it comes to trust. They may be right that trusting in something you've never experienced is foolish. That can be debated. But that's not what faith is. Faith is experientially based. This misunderstanding about the definitions of trust and faith are at the root of a whole lot of problems in our culture, both within ourselves and the people outside of ourselves. Here's one of the ways that this plays out. People inside of a religion confuse faith and trust. And so they will themselves to believe something they've never experienced before. And they call that religion, they call that faith, they call that healthy spirituality. And so, since it's really just an act of their will, and has nothing to do with an experience that they've had, then anybody who doesn't participate in their religion, well, they're just unwilling to will themselves to believe in this thing. And therefore, they're sinners, they're bad, they're infidels, whatever you want to call it, because they choose not to believe. Then you've got the people outside the religion who are looking in and saying, look at all those fools in there who have never experienced this thing, but they believe anyway. They believe in a God that they've never seen, a God that they've never felt, that whole thing. So you've got both groups feeling like they're better than those people who are either hard-headed or they're fools or something like that. And neither of them has it right. Both are wrong about what spirituality is and what the purpose of the religion is. Because believing was never supposed to be a result of trust. It was supposed to be the result of faith. And the only way that a person can have faith is if they have an experience. And when you're inside of a religion, if you approach it from a position of faith, which means that only those who have had an experience should be obligated to believe or expected to believe, then when somebody doesn't believe the way that you believe, you can accept that they haven't had the experience that you've had. So why would they believe? And why would they be expected to? And people outside of the religion would look in and say, okay, those people claim to have had experiences or have had experiences that I haven't had, and that's why they believe in something I don't believe in. It's no different than a scientist looking into a microscope and seeing something on an atomic level or molecular level, and him believing that those things exist, where people who haven't seen those things, haven't had that experience, don't believe. It's just a difference of the experiences that we've had, and so there's no need to condescend to each other. So now those inside of a religion, instead of expecting other people to blindly believe in something that they haven't experienced, they can encourage them to have an experience for themselves and see what's true and see what's not true. If somebody comes to me and says, I don't believe in God, my first question is, well, why would you? And they're kind of shocked because they know that I'm a God guy. But I don't expect anybody to believe in God just for no good reason. If you haven't had an experience, why would you? There's no judgment there. That doesn't bother me at all. I think most people shouldn't believe in God, actually. I think what most people should do, if they want to believe in God, is invite an experience in that tells them God is worth believing in. And let their experiences guide their lives, not some blind belief. So we've gotten very confused over the years, over the generations, about the differences and the similarities between trust and faith and how belief plays into both of those things. And what's happened is that religion has been hollowed out by the lack of experiences that are necessary in order to have faith. And we've replaced it with non-experientially based trust, which is just what people call blind faith. Really, it's just blind trust. So we believe for no reason. And instead of inviting in experiences that give validity to these things that we are so-called supposed to believe, we just accept them blindly with no basis to stand on. We need to get back to a place where we have faith that is based on experiences, not trust that is based on the will to believe.